Elasticity of demand. The elasticity of demand can be described as the extent to which changes in price affect quantity demanded. Elastic demand is when a relatively small change in price results in a relatively large shift in quantity demanded. Inelastic demand is when a change in price results in a relatively smaller change in the quantity demanded. Unit elastic demand is when a change in price results in a proportional change in the quantity demanded. There are several factors in elasticity. One of them is, can the purchase be delayed? If it can, it is likely elastic demand. If not, then it is likely inelastic demand. Another factor is if there are adequate substitutes available. If there are, it is elastic demand, and if there aren't, it is likely inelastic. If the purchase uses a large portion of income, then it is likely elastic. If not, then it could be inelastic. Now this is a matrix that shows the total revenue test for elasticity. There are three separate columns. One is for elastic demand, one is for inelastic demand, and one is for unit elastic demand. This is an example of an elastic demand curve. You can tell that it's elastic by how flat the curve is, compared to an inelastic demand curve, which would be much more steep. In this example, when price is set at $4 for 1 unit, the total revenue becomes $4 because you multiply price times quantity. Then, the price shifts down to $1, so the quantity demanded shifts out to $6, creating a $6 total revenue. So, we have found out that a decreased change in price results in an increased change in total revenue. In this example of the inelastic demand curve, you'll notice that the curve is much steeper than it would have been in an elastic demand curve. When the price is set at $4, 1 unit is demanded, resulting in a $4 revenue. Then, when the price shifts down to $1, 3 units are demanded, resulting in a $3 revenue. This proves that for inelastic demand, when there is a decreased change in price, there is also a decreased change in total revenue. Because unit elasticity is directly proportional, a change in price and a change in quantity demanded does not change the total revenue. This is showing that for unit elasticity, if the price goes up or down, the total revenue will stay the same. This is the mathematical side of price elasticity. To figure out the price elasticity of demand, you divide the change in quantity demanded divided by the change in price. To find the percent change in quantity demanded, you do Q2 minus Q1 over Q1. And then to find the percent change in price, you do P2 minus P1 divided by P1. And then once you divide both of those, you get price elasticity of demand. Here's an example of how to use the price elasticity of demand formula. At the bottom, you will notice how they use the formula by doing Q2 minus Q1 divided by Q1 times 100 to get 20%, which is the change in quantity demanded. On the bottom, it is P2 minus P1 divided by P1 times 100 to get 10%, which is the percent change in price. Once you divide both of those, you get 2, which is the coefficient, which will tell us if the curve is elastic or inelastic. The midpoint formula is preferable when calculating the price elasticity of demand because it gives the same answer regardless of the direction of the change. This is a more precise way to figure out the price elasticity.